Saturday night in London. A train from Doncaster to King's Cross. Passengers settling in for what should have been a routine journey. 10 minutes past Peterborough station, chaos erupts. A man with a large blade begins attacking people indiscriminately. 10 hospitalized, 9 fighting for their lives. This isn't just another incident. This is Britain at a breaking point, and we need to talk about what's really happening here. I walked away from a major media house because I saw how they bent the truth to serve the agenda. Now I work alone, I answer to no one, and I bring you the stories that matter, unfiltered and unspun. If you value honest reporting in a world drowning in spin, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and if you can, consider becoming a sponsor. Your support keeps this platform independent and keeps me digging where others won't look. Now let's get into this. The 6:25 p.m. LNER service, November 1st, 2025. Witnesses describe absolute pandemonium, people trampling over each other, hiding in bathrooms, desperate to escape. The violence lasted 10 to 15 minutes, an eternity when you're trapped on a moving train with someone intent on harm. Emergency services got the call at 7:39 p.m. when the train made an unscheduled stop at Huntingdon Station. Armed police, paramedics, air ambulances, over 30 officers deployed. 2 men arrested on the spot, 1 reportedly tasered while still holding the blade. Here's where it gets interesting. Police declared Plato, that's the national code word for a coordinated violent attack, the kind that makes counter-terrorism units move fast. Then they rescinded it. Why? What changed in those crucial minutes? What did they find, or more importantly, what didn't they find that made them walk back that classification? Prime Minister Keir Starmer calls it appalling and deeply concerning. Well, yes, it is, but what are we actually doing about the conditions that allow this to keep happening? And here's what frustrates me. We're going to get the usual script. Thoughts and prayers, thank you to emergency services, investigation ongoing. But when do we start asking the harder questions? How did we get here? Why does this keep happening? What's being done to actually prevent the next one? Because this isn't isolated. Look across the English Channel. Germany, same day, different nightmare. An explosion rips through a gas station in Castrop-Rauxel, North Rhine-Westphalia. Multiple casualties, dozens of firefighters on scene, 2 helicopters deployed, authorities telling residents to keep windows and doors shut as smoke spreads over the highway. Cause? Still unknown. Convenient, isn't it, how often we're left waiting for explanations that either never come or arrive so watered down they're meaningless. But wait, there's more from Germany, and this one's a masterclass in bureaucratic failure. Meet Ismail, 23 years old, deported to Sweden multiple times, keeps coming back to Germany, keeps committing offenses, first asylum request in Sweden, then Germany, but according to Dublin regulations, he should have stayed in the first country. Dresden police know him well, minor offences escalating to serious crimes. Court declares him mentally unfit due to substance issues, sends him to psychiatric care. Then the Dresden Regional Court refuses to extend his treatment. The judge literally says the severity of his offences doesn't justify continued detention, so they release him with €70, a bag of belongings, and 3 days' worth of medication. Oh, and a stern warning to authorities, watch him closely. If he stops taking his meds, this could happen again. Think about that. The judge knows he's dangerous, acknowledges the risk, and cuts him loose anyway. Now, prosecutors want him deported, not back to Sweden, but to Iraq, his home country. Except here's the punchline: nobody wants responsibility. Migration offices, federal ministry, district administration, all pointing fingers at each other. This is the system protecting you. This is the competence on display. And while they're playing hot potato with a dangerous individual, regular citizens are left wondering if they're next. Speaking of priorities, let me tell you about Petra Köpping, Social Affairs Minister in Saxony, chair of the Social Democratic Party. The Alternative for Germany party proposes free school lunches for kids. Sounds reasonable, right? Feed the children, especially those whose families are struggling. But Köpping is against it. Why? Because, in her words, funding free school meals would take money away from migration-related subsidies and non-governmental organizations. Let me repeat that. She'd rather fund NGOs than feed German schoolchildren. She argues that while free school meals sound good, we must think about social cohesion, and that taking funds from democratic projects and NGOs would be wrong. If this sounds like your comment section has thoughts on this, drop them below. Are we watching priorities get inverted in real time? Is this what governance looks like when ideology trumps common sense, and it gets better or worse depending on your tolerance for absurdity? Remember Norbert Bolz, 72-year-old media researcher and professor? Under the previous government, he made the grave mistake of reposting something on X, formerly Twitter, from a left-wing newspaper and adding the phrase, "Germany, wake up." Obvious satire, visible to anyone with basic reading comprehension. No call to action, no incitement, just commentary. The response? Armed raid on his home. Police showing up at a septuagenarian professor's door over a social media post. Bolz said it was clearly satirical, and guess what? He was right. Legal experts from the Bundestag's research service just confirmed that when such phrases are used in critical or ironic context, they don't constitute a criminal offense. But the damage is done. The message is sent. Watch what you say online. Even jokes can get your door kicked in. This is modern democracy, folks. A professor makes a sarcastic post, gets raided and investigated, while actual threats slip through the cracks because agencies are too busy monitoring speech. If you're thinking about sharing something controversial, maybe run it through a legal team first. Or better yet, stay silent and compliant. That's the lesson they want you to learn. Now let's talk Syria, because Germany's Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul just returned from Damascus with news that'll shock absolutely no one paying attention. Those Syrian refugees Germany's been hosting, don't expect them home anytime soon. Wadephul visited Harasta, a heavily damaged Damascus suburb, and characterized the situation as still fragile. Infrastructure remains unusable. Return in the near term is unlikely. His conclusion? They won't be going back anytime soon. In Damascus, he met with acting President Ahmed al-Shara and Syria's foreign minister. The trip was kept secret for security reasons, naturally, but now we know Germany's pledged an additional 52 million euros in aid to Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan. The money goes to international organizations and NGOs working on food security, protection, housing, and healthcare. Syria alone is promised about 81 million euros in humanitarian aid this year. So let me get this straight. Germany won't fund free school lunches for its own children because that would take money from NGOs, but it's happy to send tens of millions to Syria on top of everything already going to Gaza. Meanwhile, German citizens deal with exploding gas stations, repeat offenders cycling through the system, and professors getting raided for social media posts. Does this make sense to anyone? Or are we watching priorities so skewed they've left the realm of rational policy? Let me bring this together, because these stories aren't separate, they're connected. London train attack, 10 hospitalized, 9 critical. Germany, explosion at a gas station, cause unknown. Repeat offender bouncing between countries, nobody taking responsibility. Politicians prioritizing foreign NGOs over domestic schoolchildren. A professor raided for satire while real threats go unaddressed. Syrian refugees staying indefinitely while infrastructure crumbles at home. This is the state of affairs in Europe right now. Systems failing, priorities inverted, citizens asking questions that go unanswered. And the response from leadership? More of the same. More aid abroad, more bureaucracy at home, more monitoring of speech, less action on actual security. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and seriously consider becoming a channel sponsor. This work doesn't happen without your support, and in a media landscape designed to obscure truth, your backing keeps this platform alive and uncensored. Drop your thoughts in the comments, especially on Germany's school lunch debate and the Norbert Bolz case. I want to hear what you think. Stay sharp out there, keep asking questions, and I'll see you in the next one.